Yeah. Well, right now, I mean, Bob just doesn't do a whole lot for you in terms of how much damage output he has, how much disruption he can put in, because people have just dealt with Bob so much in ranked, they know how to deal with him, and it's just not a very potent ultimate compared to the other 5 you're going to have on your squad.
Well, obviously, will be the Ashe here for KSP, still sticking through with it. Going to be looking for that damage boost here with the dynamite getting chucked at the door. Won't be sticking around to try and go for a shot. See, they'll just wait. Teleported forward. Provided by Bird Ring. They'll get a scout on the rest of the squad. And it will just be that main Reaper again for the Gladiators on this approach.
Yep, space on D.Va again. It's going to have the ability to help control that high ground. The Mei, very powerful at this approach if you want to use the wall there. Take out the turret first.
Yeah, try to halt them off that high ground, but the Gravy with the D-Matrix is able to eat that before they get pulled back. Halt into the cafe, brings him towards the front. As Mirror and Big Goose, as well as Bird Ring, all get right up on that top level. And instantly kills start coming through. KSP and Dreamer already going to be eliminated, while Mirror just sits pretty here at the top of the stairs. So it keeps getting those freezes coming through. 80% build up on the first push, where his Blizzard is just disgusting.
Yeah, insane slows there on the stairway. I mean, there's just no way out as Shaxx in that moment. And once the high ground, that central high ground that controls the choke, is taken away, this composition just doesn't have any legs to stand on. You're trying to rotate. Torbjorn doesn't have the mobility to get away. He kind of gets slowed and caught there at the end of the day by Mirror. And they're just going to have to retreat back to a secondary high ground here outside of the choke. This is that secondary choke I was talking about where Dynamite can get value, but got to step back here, though.
A little early on the shotgun blast to try to keep himself pushed away from the enemy squad. Blizzard will be invested by Mirror up onto the high ground, which gets him a kill on a KSP, so not necessarily the massive freeze that he was looking for. And the Gladiators will lose out on Space's mech at the end of that fight, but do get the freeze here onto Shaxx, but they can't finish him off. He actually just goes ahead and gets a double kill despite being frozen solid. They didn't have the damage output to actually take him down, and now suddenly Valiant start turning things around as Shaxx continues to get melee hits. That's not what we want to see, though. We want to see hammer hits. There you go.
There you go.
Pulls out the hammer a little bit too late.
You don't want to pocket the Ashe here. You want to pocket Torbjorn.
Yeah,
last round, Raynor doing a great job of healing him up and helping him stay alive. He's actually tanking a lot of this damage output and is kind of burning some cooldowns up on the front line. Does have his Molten Core. Not going to be able to use it for the choke because they don't want to fight up at the front where they're more vulnerable to the D.Va jump in. They want to actually jump down on top of the Gladiators. But eventually, you know, not immediately, but eventually as they kind of wrap around this point.
Oh, well, as soon as he pokes his head out, KSP instantly getting greeted by that Icicle. TP up over the top, the bomb invested as well. Space looks for a pick, doesn't find one. Bird Ring going to be dropped off that top of the saloon as he uses the Death Blossom, and Rain is left all on his lonesome in the corner. Will get taken down from the Gravy, manages to find 1.5 as he gets rid of Mirror and Space's mech with that self-destruct. Gladiators continuing to inch the cart forward as Dreamer's just sitting on that high ground, just sitting on the roof. But no one really has to worry about him too much. He's not contesting the cart. He doesn't do that much damage, so they just leave him till the end. Finally clean him up, and the cart will continue to roll.
Yeah.
3 minutes, 13 seconds remaining.
Valiant need to regroup. I mean, the Bob wasn't bad. That's going to be a nice pick there as Bird Ring tries to teleport in. But the Bob wasn't bad, but it just isn't good enough when you've got the barrier there to block that damage. They're going to go for a contest here. Very bold.
Yeah, halted backward. Dreamer doesn't really get into a position to hit anybody with a pile driver, and then with a freeze combined there, will just be taken down. Shaxx with the turret, and getting right up on top of OG is able to get rid of the enemy Orisa. Blizzard going to be tossed in, however, and Shaxx will finally fall. The Gravy frozen and taken out of his mech, so a little bit of a time buy here. As Dreamer will rejoin, gets a bit of shielding. Big pile driver hit, but needs to clear them off the point. Gets one, and Shaz will fall, and the cart will just go ahead and glide into point B. So just shy of 4 minutes now on the clock for the Gladiators, the home stretch of Hollywood. Outside
of using the Valkyries, we do see an exit kill here for Space. Nicely done. Well, hold that thought. I mean, it looks like he's going to get more range caught again. Outside of using the Valkyrie, though, I did like Valiant committing to the attempted hold there. You know, baited out the Blizzard ultimate at least, but things are starting to fall apart here on this last part of C as the chase is real and They're trying to set up again a place for Ashe to get high ground control, get some sight lines, but every time they try to step out, you see the almost dive-esque attacks coming through from Gladiators. Birdring back on the Reaper.
Yep, Molten Core now coming out from Shax. Space getting antied, does lose out on that mech. The self-destruct only going to be finding the turret, but Shax was taken down by the Coalescence. Answering self-destruct up over the top from McGravy, looks for a pick. Doesn't manage to find anything. Bomb from KSF and the Dynamite do get rid of 3, as Big Goose will fall. Space finally finishes off Bob, but a lot of damage being dealt there. And with a faster run back, Valiant should be able to hold on to this one.
They certainly will. That might be Bob kills going through the roof in terms of our statistics right there. But, you know, when left to his own devices against squishy heroes that don't have anywhere to escape from, especially Lucio's, escape from the Bob damage, you know, you're going to get some work done, especially on a point like C here of Hollywood. Big Goose, though, has the sound barrier. Holds that here. He can use that to help get Mirror into position for a Blizzard, or if he just gets into position by default, then he can use it in the longer fight. So great advantages here in terms of ultimates. Rain does not have his own sound barrier, and that's going to be critical here. He won't have a great way to shut down this Blizzard damage when it does connect. It's going to have to be up to Lastro's Nano. Good start.
Through. Yeah, sound barrier just a little bit too late there from Big Goose to try to keep OG in the fight, but they're still putting up good numbers. Birdring barely able to escape with that Wraith form. Let's make his way back to safety with the rest of the squad as the Gladiators continue to push forward. Sound barrier shielding for the Valiant now going to be expiring. Gravy playing up on the top there does get demeched. Big Goose will be taken down, but the Blossom manages to find one. McGravy going to be eliminated. Mirror manages to get rid of the Torbjorn. Now Lastro falling as well. Rain has been swapped over onto the Lucio. We'll see just how elusive he can be. Seems like as he jumps forward, he's just going to get chunked out lower and lower. Finally finished off by Space with the Rockets. Now it's on McGravy to try to stay positioned here on the point. Barrier going to be tossed in. They try to juke out. McGravy manages to find 2. Mirror and Chaz both going to fall. It's got to clear one final member off of that cart to roll it in. But they just keep spilling forward. Do the members of the Valiant pushing out of the spawn, keeping that cart contested. 0.59 meters left to go as Space gets demech there on the back end. OG is dropped in the supercharger. Birdring, however, under fire, gets eliminated by KSP. We're taking out McGravy, sitting on top of the cart, trying to stay sustained. Lastro holding down that right click, manages to get the knockout on his Space's mech before the sound barrier can come in. Again, it's a tank dying just moments before Big Goose can actually get that sound barrier off. Pulse bomb goes out from KSP. Big Goose gets caught up in the blast. The turret up from Shax gets rid of the Baby Diva. And suddenly, this is looking very winnable for the LA Valiant. They continue to win this fight. They hold them off. 0.52 meters left to go for the Gladiators. Now it's one fight left at 23 seconds remaining.
Gladiators should have regrouped a long time ago. They kept crashing into this point at 3v6 fights. As soon as Shax dropped the Molten Core, it was time to leave. They just kind of crashed at this point repeatedly and losing fights, wasted ultimates. All they really gained was the Blizzard. They'll have Attack Visor, but that's not going to be very useful here. Shax is going to have another Molten Core. Finishing this map looks very difficult right now for the Gladiators. The Blizzard needs to be big.
Yep, Mirror goes ahead, drops that one, barely makes it into the ice block safely. Sound barrier now going to be out for the Valiant, so Birdring in the back line with this Attack Visor isn't really doing much, just tickling the members of the Valiant, and they just brush that one off pretty easily, get a team wipe, and they will successfully hold at point C.
Yeah, and I do, you know, have to, again, criticize the attempted run-throughs there. They thought they had this map, or rather the finish in the bag, right? They come through, Blizzard goes down, it looks like it's a one fight, it's a done deal. They're winning the fight, but Gladiators don't have the massive numbers advantage they need to really roll this through. So Valiant get their Molten Core off. They survive through the Blizzard, and then Birdring swaps over to Soldier, and they're just trying to rush onto the point and win an overtime fight that isn't overtime. You know, we're talking about 70 seconds left at that moment in time, and, you know, when you have that much of a time bank like this, a minute and 13 seconds left we're looking at, and McGravy gets a bomb here. It's really good focus fire on the barrier. That was more the rest of his teammates than him. I mean, the bomb placement was good. When the bomb goes off there, it's like, all right, that's it. We got to back up. Molten Core goes down. They could have regrouped a lot earlier. To shift gears, though, on this attack for the Valiant, just like we saw in Route 66, this is going to be where Ashe really has problems on the A push here. unless you can get a nice halt, or you can force them off the high ground and get KSP up onto the high ground right there you see to the left of your screen, Ashe is going to be shooting through barriers through a choke into a point that's wrapped around a corner. It's going to be very tough. It's going to have to be slow dynamite poke and trying to steal that high ground away.
Yeah, well, we'll see if there's going to be any swaps here. Looks like Shax will be pulling back, and he's actually going to go for the Pharah. Which means, can we anticipate perhaps a rain swap? Yes, it will be the Mercy coming through from them. So again, trying out different stuff. So the Pharah will return. There's not really any true hit scan here to reliably take the Pharmacy duo out of the sky. We'll see just how much success they can have. Shax has been extremely dominant for the Valiant so far in this series. So perhaps he can have similar performance now on the Pharah here on Hollywood. Rocket's coming down, already getting a lot of damage in onto Space, who gets forced to use that kinetic grasp. Gladiators will just pile into the hallway, but a double tap comes through, and Miro just was not ready for it. Did not respond in time to the ice block. Gets completely destroyed by the Pharah. And now you can see OG trying to dance around and keep himself safe. Does get finished off. KSP will get rid of Shaz. Birdring in the back. Does manage to find one pick on the last row, but KSP's got the timing down pat on that teleport. Absolutely destroys him with the dink. Big Goose gone on the back end of that one as well, and Valiant should very well have this point in hand.
Yeah, this is a little bit weird what we're seeing from the Gladiators. Like, I have to appreciate as well the Pharah Ashe. You've really put a lot of pressure on Space. He's forced to use his experimental barrier to deal with the Pharah, but then he can't block all the damage that's coming through from Ashe. They're breaking down OG's barrier at the same time. But for the Gladiators, the wraparound there, the attempt to try to contest, you know, these moves, whenever you try to do stuff like this, it almost feels like you're playing with your food or you're just not respecting your opponent. And obviously KSP is going to get the kill on the teleport. They're going to stagger you. They're going to get more ult charge. They're going to end up with a pretty great time bank here. So a bit puzzling to see that heavy commitment there. But they're now going to swap over to the Sombra Tracer, more dive-oriented, try to kill the backline, ignore the Pharah.
Scary moment there for Mirror, barely making it out with the translocator. Nearly had gotten finished off. Shax as well, sliver of HP just then. But now there's no Diva. They do not have the mech, they do not have that D-Matrix. They will finish him off. Can he get in a position to find a really nice barrage? You can see the members of the Gladiators scattering to the wind, just staying apart from each other so they don't get absolutely destroyed by that barrage. But the same cannot be said for Shaz. Shax just pushes up right on his flank and absolutely decimates him. Body tag there on a Birdring as he tries to escape out the back. KSP is on the hunt. Just gets a glimpse of the Tracer. Can he line up the shot? Either way, the cart, continues to roll forward with 3 minutes and 47 seconds remaining as they get so close to B.
Shaq's threat of the barrage is really what helped pick the Gladiators apart, allowed KSP to do more damage. He's got Bob here for the contest. There's no EMP, there's no sound barrier. This looks really good for the Valiant for this next fight.
Let's see if they can get this one across the finish line rather quickly. OG going to be taking a nap for now. Bob dropped in. Straight over towards the point. Dynamite tossed through. Birdring eliminated the combination of that, and a rocket from Shax just absolutely destroys him. Rocket's now straight up into the face of OG as he tries to stay alive. Shaz manages to find one, gets rid of that baby Diva. But is that going to be enough for them to find some kind of foothold here? Sound barrier shield's already going to be gone. The Bioname connects onto both of the tanks. Pile driver down, doesn't connect with anything. And Birdring gets finished off by KSP, who's still just sitting on the high ground. Dynamite will not connect. KSP still sitting up top. Looks for
he's ready.
4 pickoffs here as Rain manages to find the res back onto Dreamer. EMP comes through, catches 2. The Pharah grounded for the moment, but no one able to actually get a finishing blow on her. KSP will be finished off with the cart, manages to glide through the barrage, gets rid of OG. It's a scrappy fight, but in all of the chaos, Valiant just barely managed to slide that cart through into point B. Now they have 4 minutes on the clock, and they don't even have to finish the map. They just have to, well, they basically do, but they just have to make it right to the end, and then it's over. No chance at OT rounds for Gladiators because they just could not finish.
Gladiators really need to play a lot safer here. I mean, a lot of what we're seeing from them is overextensions, looking at fights that are very unlikely to be won, but it feels like there's some overconfidence in the rotations and the movements we're seeing. I'm going to swap over to May Reaper, try to play extremely meta here for this last final defense and try to go for the ult economy lead.
Well, really great wall up there in the Dreamer, but then Nano Boost manages to come through from last round. They keep him alive, and KSP responds in kind with the Dynamite and gets the kill on the Birdring, but Space shuts him down. KSP and Shax both get taken out. Rain manages to find a res onto one, but with Lastro falling as well, it seems like it's going to be to no avail. So it does manage to get a cheeky res off, but it's not going to allow them to push forward any longer. Do have to reset here. And Rain swaps off that Mercy, goes over to the Lucio.
Space is trying to save this map right now. Double kill there, which also eliminates the turret. He's done so much with his defense matrix. He's helping control high ground, can sweep into the low ground. He's going to help deal with Bob here too.
Yeah, Bob's out, makes his way around the corner. OG already eliminated. Mirror, however, with the right clicks, does quickly take care of the Bob, and McGrady finds another E onto a Mirror. Oh, gets rid of yet another Blizzard, the second in the series, I do believe. 4 of those Blizzards taken out. Now Rain gets rid of Mirror. They start pushing their way forward. Shax overloading, tries to stay alive. Even with that additional armor coming through, it's not going to be enough. OG does eliminate him. You can see the Valiant still looking very comfortable in the fight. The Baby Diva eliminated. Big Goose taken out by Rain. Shaz pushing forward, inting effectively to get rid of KSP. He gets the kill, but everybody else on the side of the Gladiators is just getting destroyed. Valiant, they start gliding their way up. Wrecking Ball rolls through. 5 meters away now are the Valiant for putting a win on the board. Big Goose makes his way back over. The Molten Core comes through. Big Goose nearly taken down by the lava. Space going to be knocked out. Rain coming up with that final blow, and the turn from Shax gets rid of OG. Shaz gets taken down. It's yet again a slaughter. Now just Mirror gets killed off. The team wipe comes through, and the Valiant managed to make it work. They push all the way to the end.